Today, we welcome with us Ali Jomaa. Ali is a management consultant and also he does trading. But I'm gonna allow Ali to introduce himself properly and tell us more what does he exactly do.
Okay. So أول شيء thank you Ahmad for having me today. As Ahmad introduced me, my name is Ali Jomaa. يمكن some of you know me from my Instagram page. I have هيك a small page related to trading, investing, and business world in general. What you don't know about me is basically that I'm a full-time management consultant. Trading is something that I love. I love to do basically. Yeah, that's it. This is هيك a small description على شو بعمل.
So tell me, Ali, how did you figure out like what you want to do? Yani when you have those mix of decisions between this and that, how you chose it? How did you recognize and said like I want to choose this, but I want to do that? Like how did you make such a decision?
Yes. In reality basically I believe انه you don't have هذا الديسيجن الوحيد اللي عندك اياه بدك تعمله. انه you have multiple choices انت when you're growing up، لو كنت بالمدرسه، لو كنت بالجامعه، لو بحيلا فتره كنت فيها انت، انه هيدي الاوبورتونيتي بتطلع لك you either take it or you don't.
Hmm.
So انا for me قد ما في اخذ different opportunities. فلانه جربت كذا شغله غير بعض هيك صرت اعمل مثل فلترنج سيستم، انه مثلا هالشغله ما بدي اياها، هذه الشغله ممكن اخذها، وهيك شوي شوي صرت اتعرف على كذا شغله وبعمل كذا شغله غير بعض.
Hmm.
ف that's it اذا بدك. بس I don't believe انه مثلا ما في شيء وحيد بتعمله صح هو it's always the right choice for you او it's the best decision. لا، it's basically on based on opportunities انت بتاخذهم و you adapt to these opportunities.
Mm, mm. هو like at the end of the day, everyone have his own path. So
Yeah, basically yes.
for you, for
Mhm.
example, it might work for you to have like double path. But for some people, like love the specialization. They love to focus on one thing and master it and just not do it. Like there is always different type of people. But you tell me like how do you use this filtration system? Like how does it make sense for you to say that okay, this is something or this is an opportunity that I want to take
Mhm.
advantage of? How do you recognize it, if I may say?
هلا basically you recognize it through doing it. يعني ما في، يعني انا كثير بتزعجني هالفكره انه لا مثلا فكر اعمل هالشغله لانه هي منيحه هيك. I just do the thing to try it out.
Mm,
ما بعرف اذا فهمت شو قصدي. So
mm,
once you try something out بتصير بتعرف شو ال positives of this let's say opportunity.
mm,
example حاعطيك example let's say على التريدينج. انا when I started trading مثل اغلب العالم بتشوف انا بحطوا لك فيديوهات you'll make a lot of money.
mm.
مثلا فيها ريتيرن عالي. It's not like that. It's not something fun. ومش
Yeah.
دايما مثلا بتطلع البروفيتس انت بدك اياهم. بس once you try it اوكي في عندك different ways. يا اما بتقول انا بحب هيدا الشيء و I want to continue بهيدا الفيلد، يا اما بتقول لا. و at this
Mm,
point انت بتصير بتقرر شو بدك تعمل.
mm,
وانا at this point I was هيك، يعني I had multiple opportunities الحمد لله. So management consulting was هيك convenient for me. و at the
mm,
same time training was convenient. ولحديت هلا هيك I'm finding a small balance between both. هلا
mm.
لا ارجع لسؤالك انه it's through what، يعني through my journey بهيدا الفيلد both fields اذا بدك، لحتى انا قررت انه بدي اكمل فيهم، مش انه اخذت بري ديسيجن let's say على
Mm.
الموضوع. So انا من العالم اللي كثير بتقول لك انه always say yes to opportunities، او مش بس حتى opportunities do say yes to different things. لانه عن جد الشخص لو قد ما كان عمره صغير او كبير ما يعني ما حيعرف شو الشيء اللي بحبه وشو الشيء اللي ما بحبه بلا ما يجرب، او
Yep,
حتى شو الشيء اللي ممكن يعمله.
yep. Yeah, I got your point. So I 101% get your point. Why? Because I personally, on a personal level, I have tried a lot of things. Yani, when I say a lot of things, it does mean a lot of things. And I even
اوكي.
expanded to the degree of trading and investing. And I have tried
اوكي.
a lot of things because I also believe in kind of you have to put your hands into it in order to understand the ins and outs. That way you
True.
can make maybe an informed decision. Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
was talking about. Like, what is your filtration approach? And as you said, it is more about you going into it and testing if this criteria
Yes.
works for yourself. But what I would
Yes.
add to it, like I do it as a checklist, you know? So I say
Mhm.
those are my expectations and I measure it. Like
Yes.
I also have a decision framework, like it's something else, but also it helps in taking decisions and stuff. that are pre-decisions. So before you even try it, because at the end of the day, like, do you think that people should try everything? Because at the end of the day, there is limited time, and like,
Of course.
of course, try everything.
لا, of course we have limited
Tell
time. Like
me, how
actually
do you figure out what to try and what to not? Now tell me.
okay, I think هيدي هون بتصير it's based on الانفايرمنت تاعولك.
Mm,
It's more of إنه انت كيف العالم اللي حواليك. Let's say شو الاوبورتونيتيز اللي حتى بتطلع قدامك. So
mm,
هيدا it's very very important to focus on it. هلا كمان back to your filtering system اللي قلت لك عنه. I don't have a full list of مثلا let's say مثلا trading checks هيدا البوينت لا it's not like that for me. I don't
mm,
have a full list. يمكن لازم اعمل full list ما بعرف بس at the moment انه I actually weigh the pros and cons تاعول التريدينج let's say او
mm,
الاوبورتونيتي اللي عندي اياها وبنفس الوقت بكون شوي رياليستيك. يعني ما بفكر let's say انه اوكي مثلا I want to take maximize مثلا let's say البروفيت من هيدي الاوبورتونيتي اللي عندي اياها.
mm.
يمكن انا اقول انا مثلا from this opportunity انا بين اخذ هيك وهيك وهيك. فهمت شو قصدي؟
Yeah, yeah, I got
ف
your point. I definitely
based
got
on
your
it I
point.
adapt.
Mm,
ايه
mm,
based on it I adapt. هلا in terms of شو الاوبورتونيتيز اللي احنا فينا نجربها. هلا اكيد اول شيء اذا بتطلع عليه we all have different personalities. سو
yeah,
هيدي دايركتلي بتوصل لفكره هي انه في كتير opportunities مثلا يمكن يزبطوا عندك يمكن ما يزبطوا عندي.
true.
سو اذا هيدي يعني هيدي خلص بتبلش بتشيل قصص كتير من الاول.
Mm.
اه زي my point. بس
I get your
going
point.
further down the line I think انه fair يمكن توصل ل certain amount of opportunities. يمكن في
Mm.
opportunity لا انت ما مفكر فيها وما جربتها. يعني هيك ما فينا نعمل شيء.
Yeah, yeah,
بس I think if we focus on مثلا let's say trying different things الا ما نلاقي شغله او اثنين نحبها.
yeah, yeah. I got you.
يعني اذا مش السنه حتلاقيها السنه الجايه او اللي بعدها انه ما
Mm,
اذا مش قصدي.
Yeah, as you said, like who we have different personalities. So what I
صحيح.
do usually, I've been doing this for the past like ما بعرف يمكن 4 years. So I build systems. I am obsessed with systems. So whenever I have a team member that will join my team, what I do first as a first step, like I ask them what do they feel like, and I give them also a system to understand their personality better. Not like the 16 types personality, but more like a personality on
ايه
their mission, their passion, their approach, like kind of like
اوكي
ikigai. So I have a kind of system that
يس
I do you know ikigai? You know ikigai, of course.
يس يس
Oh yeah, the
يس اكيد.
Japanese, like it's the Japanese diagram to recognize what's your passion, mission, and all those stuff. So I put it as a kind of system that is easy to implement when I onboard a new team members. That way I can understand where their skill set works best. That way I can just like save time. So for you,
يس
how did you had this conversation with yourself to understand what do you want
اوكي.
or what is your personality or what are the things you paid attention to, if I may say?
Yes, so I believe again my first point of هيك let's say اللي خلتني هيك to think about where I want to be.
Mm,
It's basically عن جد I thought about it and literally it's the cliche question and where do you see yourself let's say in 5 or 10 or 20
yeah.
years. So I thought about it and ultimately وين علي بشوف حاله.
Mm,
انه let's say اذا انا هلا بكره فايت عمري 40 سنه او 45 سنه انه what do I see myself doing. Is it let's
yeah.
say شيء خاصه بفتنس. Is it let's say مثلا شيء خاصه ببزنس. So من هون بلشت my starting point.
Yeah.
Okay. و what was good for me is انه I started thinking about this topic انا وصغير ما كنت كثير كبير يعني
Mm,
وقت كنت عم فكر هذا الشيء. So هيدا helped me كثير. Um, this is the first thing. من بعدها صراحة it's based on my let's say my connections my mentors
mm,
اللي هن أنا وياهم let's say بدك نضوي على كل شيء خاصه points of strength تاعولاتي وال points of weaknesses تاعولاتي لأنه to
yeah.
work on them. علي وكمان صراحة كثير اقتنعت بشغلة بحياتي واللي هي إنه as you said مش شرط أعمل كل شيء أنا perfectly. ف if I have a weakness let's say مش I can't work on it I don't work on it لأنه ما حتوصلنا للشيء اللي بدي إياه. I don't mind let's say finding someone else to help me do
Mm,
that. و I was really honest about it يعني I was honest with myself إنه I can do that I can work on that. أنا هول ال points of strength تاعولاتي هول points of weaknesses. ال points of weaknesses اللي عندي إياهم في منهم I want to basically work on them
Yeah,
سيستم فيهم، وفي منهم I know انه خلص انا I'm limited
yeah.
for a certain season. Let's say لانه اذا انا if I want to work على whole ال weaknesses اللي عندي هون يمكن ما اوصل ل my end goal. So ساعتها I find someone else to help me. So it's that's how I do it يعني generally. يعني ما بعرف if you have something else انت كمان to share it with us كمان.
Yeah, well, for me, it's more like I kind of love to complicate my life in a way or another because as I told you, what I learned from my mentors is building systems, SOPs, standard operating procedure.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
okay.
the standard procedures for like large companies for international, if you wanna enter an international standard and all those stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been obsessed in building systems since so many years, and I've been doing it even to my personal life. You got my point? So definitely, if I have to share like now the whole system, it's gonna take us a whole episode. So I
Mm.
want to know, like, from your perception, you told me that you was taking those decisions based on like analysis of what are the strengths and what is the weaknesses, because I believe people must have this idea of what they have as a strength of weaknesses. Well, it's not cliche, by the way, it is true. You need to ask yourself, where do you visualize yourself? Because if you
Yeah.
can't perceive where you want to be, it is hard to get there at the end of the day. For that reason,
Yes.
it's good to have this kind of communication with yourself to understand that, yeah, I want to be there. Okay, now let's see what we have as weaknesses, what we have as superpowers, if you want to say. And now you have an understanding of where you want to direct your energy, your efforts. So you tell me how when it makes sense to be in it, okay, to be inside of it. Like, what are some of the challenges that maybe unfamiliarity you have faced or something like this that help you get to the point of different understanding? So what are the things that kept you going?
Like, okay, this is really good. انت you mean in terms of انه let's say if I have some form of let's say setbacks or غيره, why do I continue in that
Not,
sense?
not your why. I don't want your why.
Not my why. لا لا,
How
it's
I
not
want how you continue. Like, what is the thought that you hold in your mind for you to say, okay,
perfect.
Ali must continue. You got my point?
Perfect. Like أنا I have مش a quote. It's something that I live actually by. كل اللي
Mm,
حوالي بيعرفوه. I'm really dedicated. يعني dedication is key. So
mm,
once I set my mind to something I try to work through it حتى لو مثلا تسيب بتاخذني كثير وقت. يعني أعطيك example كثير بسيط. أنا I was it's not related to a professional career wise. It's something related to a personal development thing. And I was an obese kid. يعني I was around 120 kilos. I was
yeah,
able to lose 45 kilos in around 4 to 5 years without a surgery بلا شيء بس اشتغلت على حالي.
hello.
فيعني ايه ف وهيدي صراحه انه عن جد عم بقول لك انه dedication is very very important. وشغله ثانيه كثير اعتمدتها واللي هي انه يكون عندي روتين. Having a routine is something very 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 important. A
Mm,
routine يعني حتى مثلا let's say if I don't want to do something. ليك على فكره هيدي كثير بيعانوا منها التريدرز. انه مثلا بتكون اخذ let's say a full week. مثلا let's say انا عندي 5 trades per week. اوكي let's say هذا الرقم مثلا وكانوا كلهم خسرانين. So usually العالم they go in a state in a bad state. يا اما مثلا بيصيروا during their weekends they want to plan next week how they're gonna trade or they over trade وبيشتغلوا يعني it's a bad cycle. For me it's not like that. It's okay انه I have a certain routine I live by it.
mm,
Okay, dedicated to that thing that I'm doing I keep on doing it. وهيك trying to improve a bit on a weekly basis.
mm,
و I try to journal as much as possible صراحة لأنه أكيد بتزهق. ما في حدا ما بيزهق. حيلا شيء بتعمله once it's full. وانا صراحه I believe in this idea كتير انه حيلا شيء بتاخده as a job او let's say as شغل as a full work يعني لإلك
mm,
تصير ما تحبه لانه بقى كثير تفوت بالسمول ديتيلز بالتفاصيل الصغيره
mm.
وما تعمل مرتاح.
Yeah.
think about it. اذا في شيء كثير بتحبه let's say
Well,
as for hobby if you do it as a full time job
yeah.
okay you have to do the goods and bads in that.
Well, it depending. I believe it's very dependent because I do what I love as a full time. Like, I have nothing to do other than this. Like, literally, I communicate, I train people, I help people, I have my mentees, I manage my team. Like, that's all I do. For me,
okay
it's not my point,
perfect.
but like I definitely get your point. But I
Mhm.
believe there's a point of intersection here that if what you do is your real passion, like it's something that excites you every day, you're gonna treat it as a game. And that's a technique that worked for me personally. And I treat it as a game and I need those
كمان.
achievements, those trophies, and I start collecting. So it's also here depending on the perspective. So definitely like your perspective is valid for those who have the same ideation or experiences like you, like maybe you had this perception
Possible.
of life that, okay, maybe it is annoying for me. So tell me, like, how did you face it? Like, what did you face exactly that was your passion? Like, tell me, how did it connect to you so I can understand you better and we can help them understand us too.
Perfect. ليك أنا بطبع إنسان أوقات بيزهق.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing something, let's say مثلا بصير يبلش يزهقني، خلص بصير أقول إنه بطل بدي أعمله. ف
Mm,
this is where I thought about it. إنه خلص I have to be more dedicated. I have to focus on my routine. I have
mm.
يعني to be obsessed about something to look always at the end point.
Yeah, I
So
definitely.
in that sense هلا يمكن I agree with you. يمكن يكون في عالم، يعني انا كثير فوت هذا الديبيت فيه مع كثير ناس انه sometimes if you do what you love يعني ما بتحس بشيء. بس انا for me بعتبر انه اذا في شيء بحبه okay I have it as a hobby for me. It's not a job او something I
Mm,
work with. وفي اعطيك example على فكره على انت شو بتعمل. let's say مثلا you're training someone وهذا الشخص كان let's say ما بدي اقول يمكن مثلا ما فهمت عليه، ما فهم عليك، there
yeah.
wasn't that connection بينك وبينه. you will go into a stressful let's say uh, mindset اذا بدك انت او هو حتى. so هيدا might be frustrating. فانا هو اللي عم بحكي عنهم انه sometimes you have هول المومنتس اللي هن بيصيروا لك انه ليش انا عم بعمل هيدا الشغله.
Okay. I'm gonna tell
ايه.
you something. The problem
اه.
is in a human beings that they focus on happiness, not on fulfillment. So if you're truly doing
اه.
the thing you want, you are always fulfilled. You are constantly in peace. And that's what I
yeah.
teach people. I don't teach them how to become happy because happiness, man, is a concept called by humanity. يعني
ايه.
happiness
ايه.
is a word created by human beings. It's not
yeah.
something.
yeah.
You
true.
have chemicals, you
true.
have energy, yes. Those
true.
chemicals and energy are valid, but happiness as a concept is a very like unvalid concept for me, for myself. That's what works in my
it's a
reality.
state.
And that's what I
it's a
help
state of
people.
mind.
Like I help them get this level of fulfillment and peace in their life. So I believe if you are truly doing what you love, you are constantly fulfilled. Why? Because you, of course, you know, like just like in a trading, you set this goal, okay? You shouldn't be like saying, okay, I want to watch the sharp 100 like all the time, all the day. You can't do that. You will be like overburned because I did trading like maybe 3 years ago, I believe, or 2 years. No, 3 years ago, 3 years ago. I'll add. So I did the trading. So I kind
كانت.
of understand your approach. So
yeah.
the idea is for me, I believe in fulfillment. I don't believe in happiness. Because happiness, of course, if you want to rely on being happy, you won't get anywhere. As a human beings, we need to go back to our essence. So I study the old philosophy of a human beings, like how we are structured from our subconscious up. You got my point? So I more rely
Mm.
on the subconscious mind and how it's leveraged. So happiness does not exist as a concept. Human beings created it as a delusion to delude themselves of chasing something they will never achieve. Because you can't
yeah.
be happy.
true.
You can only
true.
be you
I
can
agree
only
with
be
you.
fulfilled. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah, true.
view
I,
of
I
fulfillment. But
100%
you tell me, let me know.
100%. لا لا صراحة أنا I agree with you. This is a concept that is actually true. If you're
Mm,
fulfilled, it's different than being happy. By the way, happy is, I think it's more of a state of mind. So it's just a
yeah,
phase يعني بتكون فيها. ونحن I think we human by nature we want to have هيدا feeling. It's basically driven by let's say chemicals أو حتى hormones إذا بدك.
yeah,
بس in reality it's not continuous.
yeah,
The moment you realize that point is basically a changing point أو is an overarching point للإنسان بتصير. Yeah, I agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah. Man,
This is
I've been chasing happiness for so long. So I've been
we
on
all try to.
that. Yeah.
آه, we all try to.
Yeah, I've been
هذا
on
الشيء
that way, so I understand. But for now, me, like, I am living in constant peace. Like, whatever struggle I face, I know, like, I don't care. I'm just doing what I want to do. Like, for me, it's
yeah.
leaving a legacy. So, what I do every day will contribute to this, like, literally. So I don't kind of get bored from it. You got my point?
But this is your point. You're doing what I'm doing, which is actually focusing on the end goal, which is actually leaving a legacy. So in return, you have a certain routine that you live by. So you're obsessed about the idea. So
Yeah.
that's it. I think we have a similar
But
concept.
you told me you sometimes you hate it or something like this.
No, it's basically my point اللي قلت لك هي عليها انه okay, sometimes you do some things that
Mm,
you don't like. So at this point ممكن تزهق whether
mm.
you like it or not. This is a
Yeah.
feeling that you might get. So
Yeah.
الشيء اللي صرت هلا recently بيقدر يخليني to go through هيدا feeling is basically to think about okay, this is my end goal. طيب اذا انا بكمل اعمل هالشيء will it contribute to me reaching that end goal؟ اذا كان
Mm,
الجواب yes, I have to do
mm.
it again whether
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it or
yeah,
whether I don't.
yeah. I got your point. For me, I take it more like when I face a challenge that leads me to a point that I might say it's boring, which I never say, because I don't
Mm,
believe, like also like boredom and all the, like for me, I don't believe in emotions as the concepts human beings create now. Because I more go back to the origins, like how does it really take effect in your subconscious? Because when you understand how this emotion is structured in your subconscious, then you don't have to worry about being bored or about being challenged. You're gonna take life as a job. I do this all the time. I say jokifying value. So instead of actually taking life so seriously, which I don't do in a way, why? Because in your subconscious mind, if you give something too much power over yourself, you're gonna lose eventually. For that reason, for me, I take it more as a game, literally. Like I just take life as something I want to build on, and I am just
you level up.
exploring every day. Like that's the
Yeah,
idea.
level up.
We shouldn't lose the curiosity every day. Like wake up every day. Okay, what we gonna face today? Let's have fun,
Mm,
and just
yeah.
have this excitement because I believe. Okay, I helped like I heard about this boredom. Like when you are bored, it comes from the idea that you are suppressing your subconscious. So I would give you something, a trick that I use, like just do whatever you have as an intrusive thought. So if you have a thought of jumping, let's say on like Hafe or something like this, just jump it, man. When you have those little things and little moments in your life with yourself, then your whole perception of life, like it's amazing, man. Honestly, like, what do you think? Have you ever tried doing those intrusive thoughts?
Like this is a talk that I've had recently with one of my friends انه uh, I have to take on more opportunities from this area لأنه it might make me see life from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And basically that's something that I'm working on for 2024. So in 2024 I might be taking on different challenges that I've never thought about before. They might be silly challenges, they might be something that I basically people around me would look at me and say okay, why he's doing that.
Man, no one
But
cares.
for me I'm gonna do it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna do it in 2024.
Yeah.
uh yeah, just for the sake of saying okay, I did that, how do I feel about it? And from
Yeah.
that point on I think I might have a different perspective. Actually, this is new for me. I'm gonna implement it recently.
Yeah.
I
Definitely, man.
started implementing it recently.
I highly
Uh,
recommend, like, for anyone watching, I highly recommend that you literally, if
yeah,
you have this thought, sometimes I pass by, let's say, like something, like those irons, that are on the
yeah,
street. I just passed by it and I had this thought of jumping on it. If I passed by it and I didn't do it, I literally go back and jump on it and then go back home. Why? Because when you suppress those excitements in yourself, you are literally kind of cutting the messages from your subconscious. Because your subconscious, like he can give you information, he also kind of have needs or like something that wanna always keep him burning, like always being intense. So I would highly recommend you don't even have to do like big challenges or anything. Just do the things that are so exciting for yourself. Like whatever excites you. If it
it's
for me, like
for sure.
like whatever excites you, man. If it excites you to go on the street and talk with people, just do it. Like I do
Yeah,
it all the time. I don't care. What is the
yeah.
worst case scenario? Like people will reject you. So tell me now. I want to discuss this important question. Let's go back 5 years ago. Okay, would you
Mhm.
say that Ali? that with his old mentality, like 5 years ago, would achieve what you are achieving right now, or being facing, or like, if you want to say, coping with right now with the old mentality, or is there something that have to die inside of you in order for you to become who you are today?
Okay, 5 years ago, so we're talking about around 19, it's around 2019. Yeah.
Mm,
So around 2019, I can tell you that Ali was basically insane. ما عارف حاله where he's headed to يعني
yeah.
basically ما كنت عارف اللي بيكمل. I had هيك had insane that is placed in different places.
Mm,
So different pieces, different places. يعني it was a mess for me. So
yeah.
I can tell you for a fact, I know through the past 5 years, I've learned a lot. I've changed.
Yeah.
حتى people around me noticed that. يعني I had some friends from school that recently basically حكيت معهم رجعت, I've met them. So they actually saw the difference. ف
Mm,
like I think 5 years is very important to see a difference if you actually work on yourself.
mm,
Uh, yeah, اكيد اذا بنرجع لعلي اللي كان من 5 سنين no way يكون بيقدر يعمل الشيء اللي عم بعمله
mm.
هلا. I
Yeah.
can assure you for 100% for sure I know it's not possible.
Yeah, yeah. Like you had to sacrifice something in order for you to get born.
Uh,
So
for me, it's time. You have to sacrifice
time.
time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
work on the things that you want to improve. Well, this is it. This is only it. I think this is the solution for everything. It's
Mm,
time.
definitely, definitely, man. So I want now to wrap this up by a statement or a sentence or something that you want to leave our viewers with. What is that one thing?
One thing is basically just know yourself.
Yeah.
Go to basically, let's say, take a look at the mirror and just actually ask yourself, where do I want to actually be? And let's say
Mm,
5 or 10 years from now. And based on that answer, just think about it. It won't come in, let's say, 30 seconds or 1 minute. It might take you 10 minutes. It might take you a day or two to know what do you want actually.
mm,
It might take you even a year. But once you know what you want to do, just start planning and don't forget that. Just work on it day by day.
mm.
Yeah, that's it. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
just just work. That's it. ما
yeah.
في أكتر من هيك.
That's
No sugar
actually,
coating.
yeah, people love like sometimes to complicate how to achieve what they want, but sometimes it's pretty simple, you know?
Yes.
And like
Yes.
you
By the
just
way,
have to find what works for you. And what you said is great because actually people must like think, where do I want to be 5 years from now,
yes.
10 years from now? Ali, I want to thank
Yes.
you for such an amazing insight, honestly.
For
And
your time.
what's now, where people can find you? What's your Instagram handle?
It's basically investing with Ali J. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere.
Okay, Ali, I really want to thank you again, and I hope you have a blessed night.
Thank you. Have a great night.